Well, it's good evening for me. Might be good morning, good afternoon for you. But I will go with good evening. Now, yesterday I saw a news clip. It's talking about the so-called ceasefire between Iran and Iraq. Sorry. Oh, sorry. Between Iran and Israel. And people were talking about, they were interviewing people in a coastal city. And they were talking about how relieved they were that they're finally going to get their ceasefire. And it was a nice day. Really. People were walking near the beach. Some were eating, drinking, jogging, going about their business. And the first thing I'm going to tell you is that I really don't care. People are just going about their lives. What I can't understand is this. How can you sit in a coffee shop having, for example, a nice grilled cheese, something like that, you know, having a good coffee or beer or some juice, whatever. I don't know what you folk eat. While there are children mere kilometers from you dying of diseases, of bullets, of explosions, of hunger. Entire families are being wiped out. Entire people are being removed forcibly from their houses. Their houses are being bombed and destroyed. They are being killed. People that come to give them support, give them some food, some water, and medicine, are shot at by your soldiers. And meanwhile, you just sit, have your coffee, and mm, well, I suppose most of you are Jewish, so forgive me for my cultural Christian pietas. Okay, even if I was raised Catholic light, and my moral code is a bit more like the other religion in which I was educated, pagan Germanic. So I'm a bit more, let's say, I believe in something, for example, as the evil that you bring to others shall be returned to you 3 times. And this is why you have to understand this, okay? I have no ill will to you. Really. No, really, no, no. I just wonder how you do it and how you justify it. And you can tell me a lot of shit. You can tell, oh, Hamas did this, Hamas did that. Yes, we know. Yes, we know. And you think I have any love for them? You think I'm anti Semitic because I tell you the truth? People like me that tell you the truth are your only friends. The ones that tell you that you are special, that you are the elected people or whatever, that you are not just a culture that is part of the human culture like so many others, that you have a big history behind you, and that you should have learned something from it. Because you know what happened to you. What do you think will happen now if such an event happens again? If you are again under persecution with all that you are doing? Do you think anyone will lift a finger to help you? Because, look, down in South Portugal, we have a very old saying, and it goes something like this. My grandfather liked this one. Um dia é da caça, Outro dia é do caçador. One day is to the hunter, but the other day is for the hunted, for the prey. Meaning, things change really fast without you even knowing. You can blink and the world takes a tumble. And if you think this is the way to go about it, sitting in a cafe, and you can say, "Oh, I didn't vote for Benjamin. I don't remember the name of his last name. I didn't vote for him. I don't agree with it." Okay, and yet you are allowing him to kill your people, kill your hostages. Look, did you know what? Do you know what happened? Some of your hostages escaped some rubble, and they were coming out, speaking in Hebrew and waving white flags. And your IDF soldiers killed them. Okay, and I know, I'm just spreading propaganda. It was AI generated. You can think that, okay? I won't justify myself. I won't justify myself by telling you that aid workers that were working, you know, a train of a convoy, sorry, a convoy of cars with an ambulance of people that were bringing aid and aiding the Palestinians. They were literally fusilated by our troops, and then they opened the ditch and they buried them in it. Does this remind you of something? Hmm. Uh, as I've told you often in my videos, I'm part Sherman. So when I was a kid, I learned in my grandfather's knee, let's say, when he told me the stories about what his cousins told him when they visited him when he was very young after the war. So they went into this happened especially in the Baltic states. They went into a village, and he was from East Germany. They went into a village. They gathered up all the Jews. They made them dig a ditch, and then they shot them, and they put them inside of that ditch. Okay. They spilled some gasoline and butchered the bodies, and then they buried them, and no problem. And now you, a Jewish person, you are doing exactly the same thing to others. Look, I know, I know that you are not Christian, so we the Christians we have this. My culture is Christian. Have this nasty idea of saying, "Do not unto you others what you do not want be done unto you." Hmm? And despite all of the nonsense, uh, Jesus was a Jew, but you didn't like him because he said you were not the elected people. He said that the love of God was for all humanity, and that you should have done your job as the elected people and spread the kindness and the love of God to all humanity. And instead of that, you chose your path, and that's all right. Well, this is all real nonsense, because uh, in the end, I will rot. You will rot, your children will rot, the children of your children will rot. We will all die, we will all rot, we all turn into atoms, we all mingle and perhaps create something else. Maybe there is an afterlife, maybe there is not. Who cares? Who cares? Really? But then again, I will let you know, go back to your piazza to sit down, to have your nice expresso. I, God willing, or Odin willing, I will also sit in the coffee shop. And if I can, if I have money, if I have coffee, if I can do that, I will sit down also and have my coffee. But I won't have in my conscience the death of an entire people. Ah, you're Portuguese, you were colonials, you were this, you were that. Yes, and we teach that in our history books. We teach absolutely everything. You're going through one of our history books, and you will find the, the great persons of our history and the great demons and the great bastards. You will even find how we expelled a lot of Portuguese that were Jewish because our king had a hard on for a zealot Spanish princess. And she said, if you want this booty, you're going to kick the Jews out. Talk about the futile motive. And the king said, look, either convert or get out. But then, even that we corrected. You can, if you can prove you are a Sephardic Jew, you can ask for your Portuguese nationality and you can come back to the country and you will be treated as a Portuguese. If you act like one, of course. Hmm? We correct our mistakes. We correct ourselves. We try to be better. And we are a little country with a big history and a big culture. And you, please, enjoy your coffee, your grilled cheese, your beach days, your jogging, your surfing, while people die. Have a nice evening.